privilege of meeting the Prime Minister, but through my former boss, Ambassador Bill Richardson, Governor Bill Richardson, I had the opportunity to hear about his engagements with her. And I understand that she ushered in great change as Prime Minister, obviously as the first female Prime Minister of Bangladesh, but also in the reforms that she enacted in education, in women's empowerment, in opening up the economy, and in fighting for democracy.
If we recall our history of independence, on the night of March 25, 1971, when Pakistan Army unleashed its brutal assault on the people of East Pakistan, Begum Khaleda Zia demonstrated rare bravery. When an attempt was made by East Bengal Regiment commander to collect arms from the quarter guard, she refused to allow the arms to be handed over without permission of her husband, the Major Zia Rahman. This fact of resistance taken at grave personal risk reflected her instinctive stand against oppression. Shortly thereafter, Major Zia Rahman would declare Bangladesh's independence, altering the course of history forever. Yet perhaps the most painful chapters of her life came not during war, but during Begum Khaleda Zia endured years of imprisonment driven by political vendetta, a persecution that was widely criticized both within Bangladesh and across the global community. Her incarceration was condemned by the Bangladeshi people and drew serious international concern. Notably, the United States Department of State in its annual human rights report described her imprisonment as a political ploy to remove her from the political process.
Mushfiq, not only that you organized this evening, but that you invited me to be a part of it. But why do you ask me to speak after Dan Mosina? It's a horribly difficult act to follow, but for one special reason this time, Dan, I envy the relationship that you were able to develop with Khaleda Zia. I followed Dan as U.S. Ambassador to Bangladesh, and by the time I arrived, she was literally under siege in her offices. And my very first meeting with her was not the kind of diplomatic meeting you would expect to have. Where I pay a courtesy call on a former Prime Minister and leader of the opposition. We organized a group of about 12 ambassadors, friends of Bangladesh all, to arrive under the cover of night to her offices to be able to meet with her and to find a way to negotiate both with her and then with the Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, on ending this siege, if you will. The siege ended, but I have to say I don't know that it was because of our efforts as ambassadors. I got to meet Khaleda Zia, Begum Zia, numerous times after that, and I can reaffirm that even though she was clearly in greater pain and clearly in distress, she was always gracious and always welcoming, whether it was to her home, whether it was
unimaginable numbers to campaign with her for democracy and a better life for all Bangladeshis. They elected her across every election in every parliamentary constituency that she contested. Not once, not twice. Every single time she stood before the voters, they chose her. And on the last day of 2025, her people came out in the streets of Dhaka one last time to bid her farewell in unprecedented numbers. They came from villages and cities to honor a woman who had spent her life honoring them. The scenes from that day will remain etched in our memory.